Hello everyone and welcome to another Go Go Muffin video. Before we dive in here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell and drop a like on the video too if you're enjoying the content. Don't forget to join our Discord server as well if you're not already there. The link is in the description down below. We've also activated our channel membership which comes with all kinds of perks, so check that out if you're interested in joining. And speaking of channel membership, I do want to take a moment to give a special shout out to our current members. So thanks to all of you, and I hope you're enjoying the benefits. And finally, a reminder that all comments on every video will be automatically entered into our weekly giveaways. Winners will be randomly selected every Monday. So good luck, and let's get this started. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at future content once again. We are looking at Generation 6 mounts. That's right, you heard me right. Generation 6. Now, we are in our version of Global on Generation 2 mounts and fairly soon seeing Generation 3 mounts. So obviously this Generation 6 is quite a ways off to our version. Now, as of recording this video, Generation 6 is the most up-to-date generation of mounts in the Chinese version of the game, so this is the latest and greatest content that's available in that game version. Now, as always, there are 4 new mounts in Generation 6, and compared to the first 2 generations, the types of skills that we're seeing here are quite a bit stronger. So let's take a look, and we're going to start by looking at the Pegasus, the first of the Generation 6 mounts. So, the Pegasus has the opening skill Luminous Impact. Increase the damage you deal by 20% plus 60,000 and apply the Sinful Glow to a target where the target receives an additional 8% damage from any skills. When damaged by an enemy, your attacks additionally will ignore 3% of the enemy's defense. Wow, okay. Now, the blue, purple, and gold stars for this generation are similar to the previous Gen 5, and it is for the blue 5 stars, increase the damage you deal by additional 4% in battle. But interestingly, the purple 5 stars, where previous generations was increasing the your attack percentage, here in boss battles, the first 66% increase your damage by an additional 22%. So that is huge. And again, the gold 5 stars is, as always, is every X seconds, the accumulated damage you deal is dealt as 6% true damage to the enemy. So right away we have a contender for what could possibly be the best DPS mount in the game for Generation 6. Now we are going to compare it, of course, to the other mounts in this generation, but right away we have a huge 20% plus 60,000 damage increase, and as well an additional 8% damage taken from any skills, and this 3% defense ignore. So a very nice potential DPS mount. Not sure if it's the best in slot for DPS, but a very good choice regardless. Now, next up we have the Sparrowhawk. Now let's take a look at the Sparrowhawk and see how it compares. So its opening skill, Bitter Cold Wind. Increase the damage you deal by 22% plus 60,000 and applies a debuff on all enemies. Wow, enemies with this debuff take an additional 5% damage from you and have a 20% chance of taking 20% additional damage, and the debuff lasts for 60 seconds? That's really good. Now, remember what I said, I'm not sure which of these two is going to be the best for DPS, but this is really intense, my goodness. So you have this 22% damage increase plus an additional 5% from the debuff for 60 seconds and a 20% chance whenever you deal damage to deal 20% additional damage. That's massive. So I think this might actually beat out the first one, though you'd have to test both to see which is better, and as of right now it's hard for me to draw which one of these two is going to be better, but they're both really, really good DPS mounts, my goodness. Anyway, yeah, so already we have 2 pretty incredible mounts here. If you're comparing these skills to what we have right now in our version in Gen 2, it's no contest. These are on another level, like seriously. So let's look at the third mount here. That's going to be the Floating Demon. Now, Floating Demon has its opening skill, Sticky Pom-Poms. We're not going to question that at all. increase the damage dealt by 16% and gain the pom-pom buff. With this buff, each time you take damage, the damage you receive from basic attack is reduced by 2%, stacking up to 5 times. After 5 stacks, those stacks are consumed and the damage will then be reduced by 6% and your damage will increase by 6%. So this is for sure going to be the tank mount for this generation. And again, it's pretty comparable to previous generations in that it's around a 10% or so damage reduction from basic attacks and overall damage. So pretty good. Not like all of a sudden a huge increase in tanking capabilities from this mount, but still a relatively nice tank mount. So we have the first two Pegasus and Sparrowhawk, which were both contenders for the best DPS mount. We have Floating Demon, which is a clear best in slot for tanks. And logically, our last mount that we're going to be taking a look at should in theory then be best in slot for healers, but let's take a look and see if that checks out. So the fourth mount in this generation is the Arctic Bear, which has the opening skill Bear Brewing Mead. I want to be friends with this bear if it's brewing mead. So increase your attack by 32% plus 60,000, and all allies gain a slightly tipsy buff. Oh, I love this bear. With this buff, their max HP increases by 3%. And restores HP equal to 20% of your attack every 5 seconds? The effects of this skill from different characters can't be stacked, so if more than one party members have Arctic Bear, it can't double the healing power. And the purple 5-star for this is an additional 30% increase of your base attack. My god, okay, yeah. This is the best healing mount I've ever seen compared to any other generation until now. This is godlike. Are you kidding me? 32% attack increase, plus the additional purple 5-star, an additional 30%, 62% attack increase, plus 60,000 attack raw attack. Then you have a 3% max HP increase for all team members, and you restore HP equal to 20% of your attack every 5 seconds. I mean, I'm shocked at how good this is. This is easily the best healing mount we've ever seen in the game, let alone the fact that it's Generation 6. Okay, so here we have the 4 mounts from Generation 6. As you can see, the skills are on another level, especially the Arctic Bear for healers. Absolute godlike mount. I'm really impressed by this. This is, once we get this generation and healers have this Arctic Bear, oh man, their healing is going to be off the charts. That is a very, very good mount. So anyway, there you have it. We've now made it through all generations of upcoming mounts, at least until they release and announce the 7th generation, whenever that will be. So there you have it. I hope you found this informative and interesting as always. So take care, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.